Okay, not too much time has passed since the last scene you guys saw in the previous episode. It's basically the next chapter. It's raining. Our girl's having some thoughts. I no longer think of enemies as enemies. Ruth hasn't done anything. I hate everything. I want to throw something.
Did something terrible happen?
Naran.
Sorry, I knocked on the door, but you didn't answer.
Apologizing for the rudeness of entering without permission, Naran looked at the door. Ah, I was just thinking about things. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice the sound. With a bitter smile, I looked down at the military uniform, which was in the process of being repaired.
Who's Auri?
Huh? I panicked as I wasn't expected to be asked about Auri. How long had he been watching me? I have to play it off somehow. You misheard me. Anyway, have you eaten yet?
Nope. There's no way I could eat before you, missus.
In that case, shall we eat together?
With me?
Naran looks so surprised that I'm worried that I've said something wrong. When I was staring anxiously, Naran with a bitter smile approached me and kneeled in front of me. He must have adjusted his eye level so that he wouldn't look down at me as I was sitting on the floor. The small consideration warmed my heart.
Missus, you mustn't say such things to anyone other than your husband.
Why?
A married woman should not share a meal with another man in the absence of her husband.
Ah, speaking of, when I came here, Surin was very insistent that we eat together. There really are a lot of troublesome customs in Nasla. But it's fine. Surin won't complain if it's you. I expected him to smile back, but Naran looked away, with an expression that didn't betray what he was thinking. This isn't like him. Worried, I tried to peek at his face, but his eyes slowly twinkled as he turned toward me. I forgot. I blocked so much Naran stuff out. Now it's all coming back to hit me again.
Pet me, missus.
Huh? I am surprised at the sudden request. Naran smiled with a faint, bitter smile and added words.
Hey, I'm just a kid, so I feel relieved when you pet me.
With that said, his long eyelashes tend to tremble when he looks down. Something close to a maternal instinct is stimulated in me, and I can't help but to reach out towards him. Is there something wrong?
No, it just makes me happy.
Really?
Yeah, but lately, that happiness hurts my heart.
Then there is something wrong.
Perhaps.
Can't you just ignore it?
I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I know it's something that can't be, but I can't just walk away.
Really? That's very difficult. Naran's story is sad because it overlaps with my own situation, where I question my role but still can't leave. I continued to stroke his head as he spoke, and suddenly Naran's hand reached out and touched the military uniform on my lap.
Lately, you're not afraid of Bro anymore.
I was never afraid of him.
That's a lie. You used to be so nervous in front of him. But now, how do I say? Even more than when you're with me.
The hand that had been stroking the clothes tensed up. The military uniform in his grip was wrinkled and misshapenly distorted.
I feel like you've become more like a married couple.
That's not true at all.
It is. As your bodies get closer together, so do your hearts.
That's... Depending on how you look at it, that could be taken as sarcasm. I was at a loss with this topic that was difficult to answer, so I raised my eyebrows and tilted my head. Naran saw my reaction and pulled his hand away.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little tired. I'm just happy that you and Bro are becoming more like a married couple, and I'm really sorry for saying weird things.
It's okay. You've been really busy lately. Why don't you just focus on helping Surin for a while and not come to me?
No way!
Naran?
I'm fine. I might not look it, but physically I'm stupid strong.
Yeah? Well, don't push yourself too hard.
Yeah. Right. Shall I get dinner started?
Yeah, but I haven't finished my needlework yet, so I'll eat here. Naran, you'll be eating alone after all. Naran looked out the window as I tried to invite him. After a while, he muttered to himself.
Then... maybe I'll eat here too.
Are you sure?
If you don't mind.
Then this will be our little secret.
Of course. Bro would murder me if he found out.
That's not the case. I feel like he'd forgive you for anything. Naran's offer made me genuinely happy, as I had been having tasteless dinners alone for the past few days. Yeah, when I'm with Naran. Congrats. You have graduated from the younger brother box. For now. I don't know if she's gonna keep trying, but for now, Naran, you're out of the box. It's strangely comforting. Internally, I know he's a member of the opposite sex, but I don't have any sense of worry towards Naran. Maybe it's because when I first came to this mansion, I thought Naran was my only ally. Even now, when I get anxious, I want to see his face. But maybe this means that I'm depending on Naran more than I need to.
What's wrong, Mrs.? What's with the difficult face?
Hey, Naran. I wonder if I'm being a burden to you.
Huh? Why?
I feel at ease when I'm with you, so when I'm bothered, I tend to call on you.
My job is to take care of you, so that's only natural.
But you do so much more beyond your duties.
Like what?
For example, when I'm fighting with Surin, you listen to my complaints. You go on walks with me. And you played along with the dress-up shenanigans.
That last one... I'd rather not do that if possible.
Aw, but you look so good in women's clothes.
Well, let's just leave it at that. You don't have to worry, Mrs. I'm here because I want to be.
But I do feel like I'm being a burden to you, more than is necessary. Naran?
Mrs. Would you be bothered if I wasn't around?
What are you saying? I would be bothered and lonely.
It'd be great if you could rely on Bro that much.
You're the only one in this house that I can be honest with.
Why is that?
Why? Damn, they really give you the option, you could cut it right here. You could just be like, yo, you're a younger bro to me, bro, and you could just leave it at that, but here we go! Man, we got a whole new conversation here from that one dialogue option. Great, we're starting to break free of the Surin route. Come to think of it, I do wonder why. Because you've been so kind to me since the moment we met. Because you've always been there for me. Because you're like family to me. There are a few reasons that come to mind, but I think all of them are slightly off. I had never really thought about my feelings for Naran like this before, so I was at a loss for words when he unexpectedly asked me about them. All I can clearly say is that when I imagine him not being around as he said, I feel cold in my chest. But I don't take it for granted that Naran is there for me. Someday Naran might take a wife and leave me. Why is it? When I envision that moment, it feels suffocating. Uh-oh.
Mrs.?
I was about to sit up when I heard the sound of hurried footsteps running off towards the front door. Naran and I look at each other to see what's going on.
I'm gonna go check it out. Please wait here.
Yeah, okay. There shouldn't be anything dangerous inside of the mansion. But the story I heard the other day regarding the beast escape incident comes to mind. Surin is so well liked that some people want him to be king. That's why some people think his presence is a hindrance. We can't be careless now, not knowing what's out there. Nodding honestly, Naran ran out of the room. An eerie silence falls and tension builds. I wonder what happened. Unable to control my anxiety, I wander around the room. And so, after a few laps around the room, the sound of hurried footsteps approached.
Mrs.
Naran returns, his shoulders heavy with his breathing as he stops in front of me. What happened?
Bro fell off a cliff. It seems his life isn't in danger, but his injuries are severe.
What? The moment I heard it, the blood drained from my face. I'm even more upset at myself for being shocked like that. The words, Surin fell, and the question, why are you upset, whirled around in my head. The thoughts swirling in my head paralyzed me as my feet began to move first. I have to go see Surin!
No, you can't!
Naran? He grabbed me by the wrist and stopped me as I started to run. Turning around in confusion, Naran was at a loss for words for a moment and looked down in pain.
Bro is already sleeping, so I think tomorrow would be better. And he'd be worried if you went.
But... Alright. Last time we came to this choice, bad things happened. So, fingers crossed. We're jumping off, officially onto Naran's route now. Please let things play out better. Yeah, maybe he's already asleep. If the pain is so bad that you can't get up, sometimes visiting is a nuisance. I exhaled deeply to calm my heart and sat down on the bed.
Sorry.
Huh? Come to think of it, Naran was still holding my hand. I guess it's a sign that we are both upset that we realized it so late. It's fine. You can keep holding it. You're anxious too, right?
Huh?
This calms me down as well. I gently squeeze Naran's hand back as he holds mine. Naran freaked out, so I felt that he was also quite confused. I covered his hand with my free one as if to comfort. It's okay, Naran. His life isn't in danger, right?
Yeah.
Under the overlapping palms, the fingers, which had remained stretched out, moved awkwardly. I rubbed a little to release the tension. Even though we're the same age, as someone called Mrs., I have to be a little more firm. But how extensive are Surin's injuries?
The doctor said he won't be able to get up for a while, but once he heals, he should be completely fine.
Okay. A silver lining in this cloud. While saying so, I wonder why I'm so upset. If only I thought of him as an enemy, I wouldn't be this worried. Ironically, I never thought I would have to be taught by my own emotions. For the time being, I now seem to care about Surin so much that I'm upset when he gets seriously injured. However, it was not clear in what form this caring would take. It's just as you said. I wonder if the more time we spend together in bed, the closer we get to being husband and wife. I hated it at first, but after several times I got used to it. In a way, it's human nature to adapt to the environment, for better or for worse. Despite my frustration, it would be foolish to deny it now that I have realized that Surin is not just an enemy.
Have you come to like Bro?
I'm not sure, but I certainly don't hate him as I originally did. Maybe it's something like attachment. I smiled and cast my eyes down, and then an unexpectedly chilling voice fell from overhead.
Then you don't need me by your side anymore.
Huh? I'm hit with unexpected words, and I look up with a blank face. When our gazes met, his twin eyes, usually round in impression, narrowed as if he were angry.
Without me around, you can get along much better with Bro.
What are you saying, if you weren't around?
I shouldn't be around!
I think it was the first time I heard Naran's agitated voice. When I froze in surprise, Naran opened his eyes once and let his gaze wander. It's as if he's surprised by his own attitude. Naran?
I'm sorry.
His apologetic voice was very faint. Kneeling on the floor, Naran reasserted his grip on my hand with both hands and pressed it against his deeply wrinkled brow. His shoulders are shaking so slightly that I think he is crying.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. No one could be calm if their precious bro collapsed due to injuries.
That's not it. Well, I am worried about Bro, but...
He shook his head halfway as he spoke. I couldn't help but notice how he seemed to be holding back from saying something. Naran's a good boy, so if he had some grievance with me, he probably wouldn't be able to say it. I'm sorry. Maybe I did something to upset you?
You never have.
Then why do you say that you shouldn't be here? Naran, I can't understand if you don't say anything.
Because I...
With the momentum of the words, Naran's body leaned forward. His shoulders jumped a little, surprised at the sudden closure of the distance. There was a period of silence for a dozen seconds. The depths of the eyes staring at me shook and narrowed sadly. His lips, tightly clenched, seemed to show the depth of his anguish.
It's nothing, after all.
Naran shakes his head, releases my hand, and tries to stand up. I withdrew my hand, unable to stand it, partly because I needed an answer. Naran! I feel that if I let him go here, Naran will spend the rest of his life holding on to his frustration with me. I don't want anyone close to me to suffer because of me. I held his hand tightly as he tried to pull away and appealed with my eyes. I won't let go until you tell me. The moment my eyes met with Naran's as he looked back at me. Oh dang, we're going back to this, eh? Okay, this is still happening. Great! Love that for us. Wonderful. Okay, so this is... okay. Well, so far everything's still playing out the same, so let's hang in there. Suddenly, my vision shook and I found myself looking up at the ceiling. What is that hot thing covering my lips right now? Whose hand is on my cheek? I learned for the first time that even things that are obvious become unrecognizable when you're too surprised. Naran. That Naran was kissing me for some reason. Both his hands are cupping my cheeks and my voice is interrupted by his hot lips. An act of force. No technique, no anything. Just an act of imposing passion. When I struggled for breath, Naran, whose face was a little distant from mine, let out an unbearable sound.
Oh, Mrs.
Wait, Naran, return to your senses. I tried to persuade him, but his lips overlapped mine again, and this time he even put his tongue in my mouth while it was open. Our teeth collide with each other with such force that I frown in pain. But the pain brought back normal thinking, and I finally came to resist. Naran! If you don't stop, I'm gonna hit you!
Can you?
Huh? I tried to force my limbs, and was surprised to find that his restraining force was stronger than I had expected. My hands and feet were completely immobile, as if I had been sewn to the bed.
Mrs. You see, I went as far as to pin you down. You had no idea, didn't you?
He whispers so close to me that I can feel his breath on my face, and my heart jumps. Was it Naran? This child whispering to me in such a lust-filled voice? Was he always this strong? My previous perceptions were shattered with a thud, and a stranger of the opposite sex suddenly appeared in front of me. That's how I felt. Okay, The joke's over, Naran.
Joke?
You're joking, right?
Who would kiss his bro's wife even as a joke?
He yelled as his face fell next to my head. His voice, mostly transmitted through the mattress, was broken and shaky.
Ever since I first met you at the market, I've loved you. I thought over and over again how happy I'd be if this person would be my wife. From the moment I saw you, I've been in love with you.
No way. No, that can't be.
If only it weren't true. If only I could get rid of these feelings, then I wouldn't have to suffer so much. But ever since I met you, you've been Mrs. So, I thought I'd rid myself of these feelings. But I couldn't. It was completely impossible. I decided to put some space between us once you started feeling better. But then I realized we were actually getting closer. I really do wish for you and Bro's happiness, but as you and Bro grow closer, I find myself wanting to interfere. Especially on the night where Bro made love to you. I thought I would go insane.
My hand that had been held down is now clasped again, and our fingers are intertwined with each other. I felt my heart being ripped out of my chest by the shaking of Naran's body, which was transmitted more directly to me. How did I ever think that Naran was just a boy? When all this time there was such a manly and passionate presence by my side. Oh, Naala. I spent my time carelessly and had my hands full with my own feelings. Rather, maybe I gave myself peace of mind by convincing myself that he was still just a child. I had selfishly decided on what Naran's presence would be without considering his feelings. I realize that now. As I feel apologetic towards Naran in my chest, a certain thought arises. Ooh, we get an option now! We got choices! I mean, this would be if I wanted to stick with Surin, I'm assuming, so... Here we go! Full steam ahead! Choo-choo! Oh yeah, you like that thought, eh? You like that thought, Naran? I wonder what would have happened if Naran had been my husband instead of Surin, as Naran said. I know it's fruitless, but I can't stop thinking about it. From the moment he told me that he liked me, something flooded from deep within my chest and made my body hot. Maybe this is... Why? Why am I this happy? The passion that overflowed from my heart gradually took shape. The more I became conscious of Naran's warmth, the more his feelings poured into my chest and the more painful it became. Why would I feel lonely if Naran wasn't around? Why can I be so honest with him? These questions have often come up before and then disappeared in the waves of my thoughts. Now I feel them converging. As the sound of the drizzling rain gradually intensified, the words began to fall, and I came to a sudden realization. I like Naran in a special way. I regretted my realization immediately. Being interested in another man while being married isn't just fruitless, it's a sin. Whatever the beginnings and conditions, I made my own decision to become Surin's wife. Even if I was kidnapped, that's no reason to have an affair with multiple people of the opposite sex at the same time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're already planning with like multiple people? There's just one guy. Hold, Naala, you gotta calm down a little bit there. As soon as I realized it, my heart ached as if it would split open. What made things even more difficult is that now I couldn't reach out to that passion close to me, even though it was mine for the taking.
Mrs.?
At some point, tears had formed and flowed down the corners of my eyes. I bit my lip, keeping my selfish sentiments from spilling out against my will so that he would not know them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Naran. It seems that my apology was taken as a refusal of his feelings. Naran, who had a sad face at first, smiled and kissed me on the cheek. It's not true. I do like you, Naran. How happy would I be if only I could convey these feelings as is. But as long as I am Surin's wife, the day will never come when I will speak the truth.
Don't cry, Mrs.
His lips touched me like feathers and were pressed against my forehead in a soothing way, absorbing my tears.
I'm the one who should apologize. I wanted to be the one who always stopped your tears. And yet, I made you cry. I'm awful.
No. Naran, you've always saved my heart. That hasn't changed, even now. I was the one who changed. I allowed myself to be spoiled by Naran's kindness, turning away from my true feelings and running away.
I'm sorry, Mrs. I'm sorry I fell for you.
He hugs me so hard it hurts and my heart squeaks. Squeak! I tasted the tears from Naran's eyes, and he tasted what ran down my cheeks. The taste of bitter tears as we tasted each other. Okay, I mean, at least they stopped making out, and she's handling it the way she should have handled it in that one bad ending, even though it sucks. And she's like, but she's acknowledged that she's got feelings for Naran. I bet she's just like, no, regardless of circumstances, I can't act on this. And so now it's a tragedy. All right, here we go. That's good. Things are already a slight improvement from that bad end. I'm going to go check on Surin after all. As his wife, it would be unnatural for me not to go. I stand up while adjusting my messy hair. I was just about to leave the bed when he took my hand from behind and turned me around.
You can forget what I said just now.
Oh.
What I want most is for you to be happy, not to bother you. So, forget it. Forget it.
Ooh. The connotation of this. This implies she's got feelings and it's not going to be so easy for her to just forget. Whereas this is like, okay, yeah. I'll try. How could I forget a passion like that? But if oblivion is happiness for Naran, I'll let it sink deep into my heart along with my own feelings. Making my decision, I turned around, already feeling lonely. Good night, Naran.
Good night.
When I left the room, I consciously widened the wrinkles between my eyebrows. Wouldn't do to have wrinkly forehead when going to see the injured husband. I'm coming in. So, are we back to like normal stuff? Yes. Okay. So we had our meeting with Surin. Let's resume from here. It seems like Surin noticed that, you know, something was afoot in this version as well, as he should. It was just a kiss. It's not like I surrendered my body to him. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. I know, this is just an excuse. There's no just when talking about kissing someone other than your husband. I blame myself, but I subconsciously remember the act with Naran and put a finger to my lips. The place where I had been licked so much was still hot and on fire. Closing my eyes, unable to endure it, his big brown eyes come to life behind my eyelids and my heartbeat accelerates. Naran. I subconsciously muttered his name and shook my head with a start. But the more I tried to forget, the more I remembered Naran's sad face as he left the room, and I felt a sweet, bitter tingle deep in my chest. The repeated whispers of "I love you" stick in the back of my ears and constantly gouge out my heart. I covered my mouth with my palm because I was about to scream that I loved him too.